Montreal, UFC 315, May 10th.
Wow. I won't be there.
months.
I don't go to Canada anymore. I don't.
No, nor should you.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd rather go to Russia.
Something that a lot of people want is for conservative leader Pierre Poilievre to make his way onto the Joe Rogan podcast. Now, this is a bit of a controversial take because some people think it would be extremely beneficial and others think that it would be not so good because American influence on Canadian politics never really ends that well. But for those who are wanting Pierre Poilievre to appear on Joe Rogan, we have the second best thing. Joe Rogan commenting about Pierre Poilievre in a very positive way. I don't want to say that Joe Rogan is fully endorsing Pierre, but it seems pretty good. It seems pretty good so far. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. But to understand the importance of Joe Rogan's role in Canadian politics, you have to be able to fully understand how many times Joe Rogan has actually commented about Canada and Justin Trudeau, our politics, and how much of a banana republic this country has turned into. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at first, and then we're going to take a look at his recent comments, which include comparing Canada as a worse country to go to than Russia. That's right. Joe Rogan would rather go to Russia than Canada. And this is in reference to the upcoming UFC that's in Montreal. We all know Joe Rogan is a massive part of UFC commentator. In fact, it's almost, you almost like can hear the announcers and it's always Joe Rogan. And so the fact that he isn't going to the Montreal UFC because it's such a crappy country to go to and he would rather go to Russia, that's pretty huge, especially that we're entering the election period. So a lot to take a look at in this video, and I hope you stick around for the full thing. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you all to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's the best free way to help support this channel. And click and tap that little bell notification so you can actually be notified of upcoming videos. And then also, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, I do have a message from today's sponsor. Whenever I hear about tariffs or this trade war, all that I can think about is how this is hurting the Canadian and the American economy, but specifically Canadian and American citizens. And so there's a lot of noise around this from the left and from the right, which is why I've narrowed it down to one place where I can actually find the truth. And that's ground.news. They're an app and website that I have partnered with because they are committed to bringing you the truth. Go to ground.news/sun to see for yourself how this works. Here's a story about Canada retaliating with 25% tariffs on billions of dollars worth of U.S. goods. Over 150 sources from around the world are reporting on the story, and Ground News gives me a quick summary based on all the articles. Looking at the bias distribution bar, we can see that coverage is pretty evenly split across the political spectrum, with coverage coming from both the right and left-leaning outlets. The Toronto Star highlights Trudeau calling tariffs a very dumb move, while Premier Doug Ford orders American alcohol off store shelves in Ontario, framing the response as strong political pushback. Seeing these perspectives side by side on Ground News makes it how clear different outlets shape the narrative, helping you cut through the spin and get the full picture. The difference in coverage makes clear that the left and the right are approaching this from different perspectives, which is exactly why Ground News developed the blind spot feed. It shows you stories that are disproportionately reported by either the left or the right. I find it really helpful for gaining a balanced perspective in our hyper-polarized world. I really think that Ground News is providing the solution that we desperately need. So go to ground.news/sun, click the link in the description, or scan the QR code and send this to somebody who needs it, because if you subscribe through my link, you'll get 40% off the Vantage plan today. And that's the same plan that I use to get unlimited access. That's ground.news/sun. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video. All that being said, let's start off with a bit of an older clip of Joe Rogan talking about Canada.
A bunch of sentences on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But I mean, imagine.
Yeah.
And then
The government can get that.
they're talking right now about, and maybe we're going to need to fact check this again because I was reading it this morning, but basically they want it to promote Canadian something to do with, like, basically what Canadian greatness, whatever it is, they talk about it, and Indigenous affairs. And you're like, oh, so they're going to say a number of things are un-Canadian. and then you can just silence them. Look what Trudeau did with the truckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
We just had one of their guys on to talk about it.
Not just the truckers, but people who donated to the truckers.
And it's not just Trudeau, it's the Liberals. The Liberals did this. Chrystia Freeland did this. Marco Mendicino did this. These are all the people that are still going to be working hand in hand with Mark Carney. That's why it's so important to get out and vote. Nothing has changed from the Liberal Party except Justin Trudeau is no longer circulating. That's it. Everybody else is still there.
Got their bank accounts closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is wild.
Yeah.
You got locked out of all of your money because you donated to a cause where you didn't think that people should have to take an experimental vaccine in order.
Yeah, $5, $10, everything. Like this is stained our country, right? This is we're forever going to remember these moments. But that's not the only clip that I want to share with you today. There's also this older clip with Tom Green.
You know, it's just like here. You know, you get people, Joe Biden,
Trudeau. They kept chanting it at the UFC.
You know what you would probably be amazed to see. I don't know if this is so common in Canada that we just don't even I don't even think to mention it. Driving around everywhere in the country, in the city, everywhere, people pick up trucks, fuck Trudeau flags.
Yeah.
It says fuck Trudeau, black flag, white letters, Canada flag on it. People are mad. And so it's not just like everybody in Canada is just down with it. Now, enough people are down with it that he got elected, but he might not get elected the next time, and then that'll be just like it is down here.
I hope he doesn't.
Might just be like it is down here.
If he gets elected again, you guys are gluttons for punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's not worry too much about re-electing Trudeau. Let's worry about Mark Carney getting elected, because that is just as bad, if not significantly worse. So as you can see, Joe Rogan has quite a bit of commentary to add to Canadian politics, and there's other clips too, but we're not going to really get into that. But what we are going to play right now is his most recent podcast on Fight Companion, where he sits down with his buddies and again talks about Canadian politics, Pierre Poilievre, and the fact that he doesn't want to come here.
They lost 20 plus million. Yeah. I mean, Russia's been through so much. Just the amount of people that got starved by Stalin. France provided crucial aid to the American colonists during the Revolutionary War, including military support, financial assistance, and naval power, ultimately contributing significantly to American victory and independence. Yeah, they've helped us through everything. Yeah. So, I think it's stupid that we hate France. I don't get it. I think it's stupid that we hate Canada, too. I don't get that either.
Canada needs to get their shit together, though.
Yeah, they have terrible government, but
he's out,
Canadian
right?
people are awesome.
Yeah, Canadians are awesome.
Yeah, but the new guy is like more of the same.
Oh, really?
And then they have to have a vote. And when they have a vote, then that Pierre Poilievre guy.
Is he one of
has a
Fidel
chance.
Castro's sons, too, or what?
No, he's not.
When is that vote?
He's a conservative. They don't have the same thing over here. Like it's November 4th. Like with them, they get to decide when there's going to be a vote.
When they've had enough.
So they'll call it in 3 weeks. 3 weeks, we're going to have a vote. Like I don't even know when or how. I don't know how their system works up there. They got a squirrely system up there. And they just keep losing rights left and right. I mean, what they did during the whole trucker convoy thing was nuts.
That was
Well, never mind. We'll get into the trucker convoy right now, but something that does need to be talked about eventually, and I will make a video about this because this is probably the most important thing in Canada. And I don't want to talk about it too much. This is why I'm skeptical, because I don't want to demoralize people. But Justin Trudeau's final act before he left was the biggest FU to Canada ever. Justin Trudeau appointed more Liberal senators, lifetime appointments until they're like 65. So even with a change of government, how many things are actually going to get passed through the Senate? I mean, there's like 90 out of 110 senators are Liberal or something like that. Like, it's insane. So not to demoralize people, I want to encourage everyone to go out and vote, do what you think is best. However, Justin Trudeau did ultimately screw over our system. Like, you can't get rid of a lifetime appointment senator. It's just not happening. It's literally in the name, lifetime appointment, unless they like pass away or resign, right? And a lot of these senators, they're younger. They're in their 40s. They're in their 40s and stuff like that. So there's years and years of Liberal fully blown liberal Senate. It's absolutely disgusting.
That was crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. Like full on communist bullshit. Taking people.
There's people still in jail.
Well, there's people that lost their bank account that only donated to the truckers.
That's wild.
That was crazy. They froze their money.
But I
because
mean,
he donated.
that was kind of the start of like them stopping all the crazy shit.
Well,
Like-
it was kind of a lot of people woke up.
The
Yeah.
protest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
like
lot of
once the truckers did that and they started shutting bank accounts
Well,
down,
you're fucking with real
and like
dudes.
across like all of North America, they were like, okay, maybe we should kind of
Yeah, truckers are real dudes. They're like, hold up.
yeah.
Hold the
There's
fuck up.
a lot of dudes who woke the fuck
Yeah,
up because of
thank
that.
God.
Yeah.
I woke up because of that. This channel blew up because of that, as did other channels out there. Like, that was a big catalyst for Canadian politics being propelled forward, right? Before that, very small amount of people in this country actually cared about politics. It's unfortunate because, COVID and all that stuff, that was very heavily politicized, and everyone was sitting in front of the computer or TV waiting for the next update. What's going on? Are we wearing masks? Are we not wearing masks? What's going on? Like, that lingered before the trucker convoy, but everyone was so annoyed with just how manipulative that was, the gaslighting involved, that if it weren't for the trucker convoy, I feel like we wouldn't have nearly the amount of patriotism in this country that we do today. Like, it would still exist. It just wouldn't be as big of a movement, as big of a political movement as it is today. So every day, man, thank you to that trucker convoy. Thank you to those truckers for doing that. Like, that was just insanely phenomenal.
Yeah. Because they're so polite
We're
up
so
there.
back.
They're so nice and polite in Canada that it's like
Till they're not.
Till they're not. But it's easy to kind of like, get them thinking, this is the right thing to do, eh?
Yeah.
And then,
Have you seen the DMT red laser light thing?
I've heard about that.
Yo.
I heard it's nuts. Have you done it? Have you seen
No,
it?
but I've seen a
No.
bunch of videos on it. Apparently you do.
That's so funny, man. Yeah, that's not the only time, though, Joe Rogan talks about Canada in his recent podcast. He also says, and now we're going to take a look at the clip, that he would rather go to Russia than Canada, and that's why he's not going to the UFC in Montreal.
2 months?
Is that 2 months?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
I don't know.
See if Jamie could find it. Fucking unbelievable, man. I'm super impressed.
Montreal, UFC 315, May 10th.
Wow. I won't
2
be there.
months.
I don't go to Canada anymore. I don't.
No, nor should you.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd rather go to Russia.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
when they
Oh, my God.
That's never going to happen. That's so crazy to ask them to be the 51st state. I had a conversation with Trump about it. He goes, I started calling him Governor Trudeau just for fun. And a lot of people were saying it's a good idea. Like, maybe it is a good idea.
A lot of people say it.
Look at this fucking squeeze, man.
Did you ever work with a mental coach, Gordon? You
No.
seem pretty mentally fucking strong.
no, I believe that.
I'm not suggesting that we fix Canada by any means just so we can have Rogan come back here and commentate on UFC. I think that we should be fixing Canada. We need to get our political ducks in a row. We need to get our system back on track. We need to get our social norms back on track because Canada has become just such a banana place. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Banana Republic is an understatement. This country is so broken and so fractured. For 3 years, 4 years, it felt like 3 or 4 years, waving a Canadian flag, having that on your front lawn, having a Canadian flag on your car, waving a Canadian flag, or having a patch, having a sticker, wearing a Canadian flag t-shirt, you were viewed as some form of extremist. And now, because liberals are going around saying elbows up, which is literally a dirty play in hockey. It's fighting dirty. Someone's coming in to body check you. You put your elbow up to defend yourself. You get a penalty, right? It doesn't make any sense that that's their slogan. Like, it literally, it's like, might as well have it, kick them in the nuts when they're not looking. Like, it's just such a weird freaking slogan to have. And all these liberal sheep are like, yeah, kick them in the nuts when they're not looking. Like, it's just, anyways. I think that we are so close to fixing this country. It's going to take some time, of course, under new leadership. However, just the weight lifted off our shoulders once we get the liberals out of power and once we get conservatives in there. Oh my goodness, man. Everybody's going to be able to sleep properly. This country is on the path to greatness, unleashing all of our resources, unleashing the Ring of Fire in Northern Ontario, all of those resources. Like we're so close we can taste it. All we got to do now is encourage people to vote, educate people about how bad the liberals are, how corrupt they are, and how replacing Trudeau with Carney, it's not any different because all of the ministers are still there. Every single person that advocated for ruining our country with all this climate talk, you're going to burn the world down by driving your car, taking your family on a trip in the summertime, those dudes are still there. The illegal use of the Emergencies Act was by Marco Mendicino, and he's supposed to be like chief of staff to Mark Carney or something ridiculous, okay? All those bad people are still there. Mark Carney is a more evolved version of Justin Trudeau. He's not better. He's 10 times worse. That is in the video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Do you think that Joe Rogan should come back to Canada after we elect a conservative government? Let me know. Thank you, Grand News, for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye for now.